Hi guys, it's Connor Manuel again with another exciting video tutorial. This time I want to show you how to get more bang for your bucks when you're using Microsoft PowerPoint. So let's go and open up PowerPoint, and when you first go to PowerPoint you get this option of either choosing a template or blank presentation. I'm just going to go ahead and choose blank presentation, and then unfortunately you also get these text title placeholders which I don't like. So if you don't want them, you just go to this little pop-up menu here and choose blank. I prefer to create my own text boxes, if you don't mind. Now, before we get into creating the slideshow, you can change the slide ratio, the size of the slide itself. I basically have two options with PowerPoint, and I'll just show you where you go. If you go to Page Setup under File, here's where you can choose the different types of ratio you can have. So you can have a standard on-screen show, which is 4:3 ratio. And by the way, that measures 800 by 600 pixels. Or you can have a widescreen ratio, which is 16:9 ratio. And that measures 1280 by 720 pixels. Now let's leave it on widescreen and start our presentation. So imagine you want to do a slideshow on the artist Erin Kelso, who you may or may not know about, but you'll soon find out about Erin. I usually start with my first slide and I customize it and format it and get it looking just right, and then I can transfer that look to all the other new slides that I create, and I'll show you a little trick in a few minutes. First thing, let me create a text box for my heading. So under Insert, choose Text Box. I'm going to draw a box about so big. And here is where I would write in the name of the artist in this case. And I would spend a bit of time choosing the font. And I really like using, I like Candara, I like Calibri, and I also like Century Gothic. But you can choose your favorite fonts. Let's make that a bit bigger, say 36 points. And we'll just choose red for now as the color. So there's my heading in position on the top left-hand corner. Now I want a second text box, but I also wanted to line up with the first text box. So instead of going back to Insert Text Box, I'm going to show you a little trick. If you hold down the Option and the Shift key together, and then click on the line on the actual text box itself and drag, you get a second text box automatically with exactly the same font specs as the first. This time all you've got to do is type in some new words. Okay, so and then I might just change the color and make it a bit smaller so it doesn't compete with the heading. I might even move it so it's a bit of a narrow column. And there's the first two text boxes on my slide. Let's now go and learn about Erin Kelso, shall we? We'll go to Google Chrome. We'll type in her name as a Google search. And straight away you can see a couple of options. Let's go to Erin Kelso Art. And you'll notice straight away that she's into sort of fantasy, mythical, zodiac type art. So if I go to images up here, we'll get a better view. What I usually do when I'm looking for images on Google, I tell my Google search to only show me images that are large. See how I did that? I went to Tools, Size, and Large. And this will give me some decent sized images to choose from. So imagine you like this one here. You'll notice the size is here, 1024 by 1600 pixels. I'm going to right click. This is kind of like the shortcut. Copy the image, go back to PowerPoint and paste, Command V. And then I can position it where I want. Now in terms of the background color, the way I change that is I right click on the slide and go to Format Background. And then over here where it says color, I can choose one of these pre-mixed colors. But if I want something a bit more exciting, what I usually do is go to More Colors. And then this window comes up. And look at this, you get an eyedropper. So why is that so good? Well, you can actually choose a color from the image that's on the screen. So let's say, for instance, you like that color there. If you click there it becomes your color. And if you click OK, you can then see whatever color you've chosen with the eyedropper becomes the background color. If it's too dark, you can also bring down the transparency, which I might do that as well. Good. All right, so now we've got our background color, we've got our two text boxes in position, and we've got our image. Here's the fun part. I want to recreate the look of this slide for my second slide. Now, instead of just choosing new slide from here, I just select the first slide, go to Edit, and choose Duplicate, or Command D, Control D, and you get exactly the same slide with everything in position, ready to be customized for slide number 2. And this is where you might select the image that's there already, delete it, go back to Google, and choose your second image. So let me copy that, and I'll click on that slide and paste it, position it, and then over here, duplicate, delete that image, go back to Google and choose your third image. Maybe I'll choose, let's just go down a bit. Yeah, this one's pretty good. Beautiful. All right, copy, back to PowerPoint, paste, and you've got your 3 images. And look, that's a simple way of creating a very consistent look with your PowerPoint slideshow. Now, the problem you might notice, so not really a problem, but let's say you think, oh yeah, all these images are different sizes from one slide to the other. There's no real consistency in terms of the size. Well, let's try something a little bit different. Let's say you want all the images to be exactly the same size. Now, this is a little bit trickier. So what I'll have to do is delete these slides and go back to my first slide and delete that one as well. All right, so the way you can create a consistent look with images in PowerPoint is to insert a shape. And just to add a little bit more excitement to the tutorial, I'm going to choose a shape with rounded corners. So let me just choose that one for now. And I'll just make the rounded corners a little bit less rounded. And then you position it where you want it. So let's just do that, for instance. Now, once you've got the shape looking the way you want it, you go to Google Chrome, you copy the image that you want, and then you go back to PowerPoint. And then over here, if you didn't have that option available to you, you can click on Format Panel, or you can select the shape, right-click it, and go to Format Shape. And then on the side comes this information bar. Now, this is where the fun part starts. When you go to the fill bucket, you get options. You can fill it with a fill, a color, or you can click on picture or texture, and it automatically gives you a texture fill. However, because we copied that image from Google, if I click on clipboard, it actually fills the shape with the image. How's that? Now, one more step. If I think, oh, I just want to crop it a bit, I go to the Picture Format tab and see what it says crop. I can click on Fill. And that lets me, oh, this is almost a perfect fit. There's not much room to shift, you know. As you can see, it's almost a perfect fit. So that was a pretty good size for that shape. But you can go to crop, go to fill, and then you have the option of moving the image around within the shape. Okay, good. So once you've got the picture inside the shape, you go back to that previous step of duplicating the slide. And here's where you go to your next image. And let me just choose one at random. I'll go back to this first one here. All right, now this one might be a bit bigger. So I'm going to copy it. Back to PowerPoint, I select my frame, go to the fill bucket and click on clipboard. Now it is a bigger image, so when I go to picture format and click on the little drop down menu under crop, when I choose fill, you can see I can actually, kind of move it left and right, but you can position it where you want it. I can even, I can cheat a bit and hold down my shift key and make it a bit bigger. And you can see you can wiggle it around. Shall we do one more? All right, let's go back and I'll select slide number 2, press Command D, and let's go find another image. Okay, we'll go for this one here. Actually, let's go for something that's bigger. What's this one? All right, this one will do. So we select it, copy image, back to PowerPoint, select the frame, back to the fill bucket, and click on clipboard. And then don't forget, picture format, crop, and fill. Now again, the top and the bottom's pretty good, but you can move sideways. Or you can hold down the shift key and you can decide how much image you can show. Don't forget the shift key, keeps it all in proportion. So when you click away from that now, the beauty about using this picture in the frame technique is that all your images appear exactly the same size with the round the corners and all. So that's not a bad little trick. That's all for now. Thank you for watching. So have a bit of fun with that, and I'll see you next time.